expected, the cream rises to the top, and the chokers, well, they choke. Here we go. Yo, by the way, Cake Dig back here, and so let me ask you a question. How is it every year at this time, around this time, we're always talking about the same thing? The Eagles getting ready for the playoffs and a playoff run, and the Dallas Cowboys choking and having another collapse season in which it's everybody else's fault but Dak Prescott. It never is, Mr. Here we go! It's going to be picked off! It's never, okay? But the Eagles, and I just dropped my glasses, the Eagles, listen, we right now, and I'm going to say this, we are coming off a win versus the Washington Commanders, who stink. There is no question about it. We beat Oakland, and they stink. But we've got to go and take it to another level this upcoming week, because we're going to play a good Buffalo Bills team. However, this Buffalo Bills team, I think, is the perfect team for the Eagles to play. Why? They don't have a great defense. So this can help keep our offense, to get moving, give us confidence, and get things, kind of going. And it's a great test for this defense. So we got a monster game coming up this weekend. There is no question about it. And as you guys know, the Eagles on Saturday clinched the division. First time in 20 years, a team in the NFC East has won back-to-back divisions. No, it wasn't Mr. Here we go, Mr. No pressure Dak. It wasn't him who has this great NFC East record. No, it was Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, the defending world champions. That's right. And here's what I'm excited about coming out of the Washington game, to be quite honest with you. Because, yeah, it was Washington and all that kind of stuff. But here is what I'm kind of excited about, and I have hope in going forward into the playoffs that I think will be beneficial to the Eagles, okay? And if they can get it going, they're going to be tough. When you think of the playoffs, what does it really take? I think it takes, you need a good defense, you need a good running game, and you got to win the turnover battles most of the time, and then you need your quarterback to come up and make plays and do the things he has to do when it's necessary. But if the formula is for the Eagles, good defense, don't turn over the ball, and be able to run the ball, well, two of those three things we can do, and the running game is actually coming along. Do you realize that in the last 3 weeks, Saquon Barkley has had 200-yard-plus games? Now, one of them was against Washington, okay, fine. But one of them was against the Chargers, and I thought they did a pretty good job. The running game has gotten better every week, and the only reason he really didn't do it against the Raiders was didn't need to. That game was over in like 20 minutes. But the running game is starting to come along, and this is a really, really good sign, man. This is a really good sign for the Eagles, I think, going forward. And I'm going to tell you this. Another good sign for the Eagles, for me, for you, is I got the deal of deals, man. I got the deal of deals. Out of all the sponsorships I've ever had, this, to me, is the most exciting. Check it out. Real quick. If you're still using those traditional sportsbook apps, you're getting robbed blind with their trash odds, hidden $10 fees on every $100, and blocked cash outs. Delete the old scam. The revolution is Polymarket, the prediction market alternative, putting you in control. Pulling Polymarket up live right now, we're looking at the Thursday night game. Rams-Seahawks, huge NFC West showdown. The market's got the Rams at around 51% chance to win. To me, that feels like real value on the road with how hot they've been. So, boom! I'm trading on the Rams at this percentage right now. Here's what makes Polymarket different. You have the ability to buy in or sell out and cash profits instantly anytime you want during the game. Primetime swings are wild. If a team starts to slow and the percentage dip, That's your buy-in moment. They rally, it climbs, and you cash out right then. No house blocking you. Traditional books pay $500 profits on a $100 position with their massive cut. Polymarket often $750 plus. You're leaving $250 on the table every time. Download via my link below and use code Philly500 to unlock exclusive early access and $10 free in the app. No deposit required, no card, no nothing. Grab it now. Join the revolution. The link is pinned in the comment and in the description section. And definitely use promo code Philly500 and get in on the right side of the action. Shout out to Polymarket. This is a great deal. And by the way, if you try to download the app and if there's any issues, let me know and I will try to help you figure it out myself. But as I was saying, I really like that the running game is coming along. I think it's getting better and better. And to me, it's never been about who you're playing or what the other team is. I really think it's about this Eagles team. When we struggle and we give up leads or we go into these funks, it doesn't seem to matter who it is. But when we're rolling, it doesn't seem to matter who it is. We can score on anybody when we're clicking. When we're not, it don't matter who the defense is. You're not going to do anything, okay? But to me, the most exciting part of going into the playoffs and where we're at, I think it's the fact that the running game is starting to come alive now. Okay, you have Barkley. 2 of the last 3 games, he has over 100 yards. He is now over 1,000 yards on the season. A guy who struggled as bad as he has seemingly still has over 1,000 yards. I know 1,000 yards isn't quite what it was maybe years ago, but I still think it's pretty good. And what I like is the uptick in how he's been running so far. Then, when you look at the Eagles' offense, I think Hurts is starting to get going. A.J. Brown is starting to get going into this offense. And Brown isn't getting going. Like in that Washington game, that didn't feel forced. It didn't feel like the Eagles were trying to force throws to A.J. Brown. It felt very natural. And we're going to see more of that. I actually think the Eagles are in a prime position to go on a run. And let me say this first and foremost. I think any team right now in both conferences is capable of a run. Well, maybe except for a few, okay? But this whole playoff scenario, the whole league right now going into the playoffs, it is not like in years past where you have like those 1 or 2 teams who are clearly way heads and shoulders above everybody else. I think we're going to see a lot of road teams win. I think we're going to see a lot of upsets. I think we're going to see a lot of craziness in this year's playoffs. And here is a look, not quite updated, but as updated as I could find, NFC playoff picture. So right now you have the Seahawks with a first-round bye. And the matchups you would have for the first round of the playoffs would be Chicago hosting Green Bay, so they would play a third time. Green Bay really choked that game. Then you have San Francisco would come to Philly. I actually think that's the easiest matchup the Eagles could get out of Green Bay, San Francisco, and L.A. And then you have the Rams going to, not the Bucs, because the Bucs lost, but they would actually play Carolina. So you would have the Rams at Carolina. Now, how do I see this shaping out in round 1? It's simple. I think the Bears would win. I think the Eagles would win. And I think the Rams would win. Okay, so you would get 2, 3, and 5 winning. Now, the second round of the playoffs would shape up this way. And this, to me, is where it gets exciting. You would get the Rams, the 5th seed, would have to go to Seattle. Okay, because remember, the best seed always plays the worst seed. So the Rams would head to Seattle. I think the Rams are going to beat them in Seattle. I think Seattle would lose in that first round. Then you have the Eagles and the Bears. Now, I know the Bears took it to us pretty good the first time we played them, but I think it's very hard to beat the Eagles 2 times in 1 year. I think the Eagles upset the Bears, meaning the Eagles would then be hosting the NFC Championship game versus the Rams. And that's really where I think the NFC Championship game is going to be, Eagles-Rams. So you could see how this could work. Now, things can change. You could have a situation where if the Rams, if the 49ers win and win out, and if they win tomorrow, they're actually going to jump the Rams. And they could be the 5th seed, and all of a sudden the Rams or the 6th seed, meaning we would have to play the Rams in the first round. I think that's the toughest matchup we would have the entire playoffs. So if you beat the Rams in the first round of playoffs, I think you're going back to Super Bowl. So I like where this is setting up for the Eagles. And I say that not because I think the Eagles have been so much more dominant or because they beat the Rams and Washington and I'm saying they're back or anything like that. I just think this is a wide open playoffs, and I think you have to factor in experience. I think you have to factor in teams that know how to win in the playoffs and that have been in those situations. And the two teams that I see in the NFC that really have that are the Eagles and the Rams. And I think it's going to pay dividends in the NFC playoffs. In the AFC playoffs, you look at teams like New England, like Denver. I don't know what to expect of those teams, okay? It wouldn't surprise me if a team like Buffalo gets into the playoffs and goes on a run and wins the AFC. It wouldn't surprise me. Matter of fact, I think Josh Allen, this is his year, okay? Any matchup with Chiefs or Mahomes, you don't have to deal with. We'll see if the Ravens sneak in or something like that. But to me, the playoffs are wide open. And the Eagles have the experience and the fact that they're defending champions as a huge advantage in this situation. So I like where the Eagles are. Actually, if we could get the 2 seed, that would be even better to me, okay? But in order for the Eagles to get the 2 seed, if you're wondering, it's really hard to get the 1. I think the Seahawks and the Rams have to lose out, something like that, and the 49ers have to lose a couple. So it would be kind of hard. But for the Eagles to get the 2 seed, all we have to focus on is the Bears. The Bears, they have to lose the last 2 games, and the Eagles have to win the last 2. That's what we need. Will that happen? I don't know. The Bears play at San Francisco next week, and then they have to play Detroit the last game of the season. So they can lose both those games. It's not impossible, So the Eagles will actually play before the Bears. Bears play next Sunday night. We'll be streaming it. So the Eagles play Buffalo. If the Eagles win, then we got to see what happens in that Chicago game. If the Bears beat the Niners, then you sit everybody the next week. If not, then you play with a chance to possibly get a number 2 seed. But 2-3 seed, I think you're still in a position where you possibly could host an NFC Championship game. So very interesting times for the Eagles. Going to be an interesting week. Of course, it's Christmas. Few reminders, we will be streaming live tonight. We will be watching the game tonight, Colts-Niners. Want to watch Phillip Rivers, and hopefully the 49ers will lose. And then you'll have Tuesday, we'll be doing our live Hard Knocks Episode 4 stream as well. But I hope you guys have a great day. I will see you guys later tonight. And with that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. Welcome to ESPN, where we are going to go over the 2025 Dak Prescott and Dallas Cowboys season. Let's take a quick look at the Dallas Cowboys in September and October. Here you go. Here we go! Look at the eyes movement. Look at the movement. They can see all over the field. Now, let's go to December Cowboys and Dak Prescott. Oh, crap. Everything's stuck. It got hit so hard, it's stuck. Too much choking. The eyes are stuck. Here we go. There's no Washington out. That's all, folks.